Welcome back. Joining us in the studio is a man who dreamt of playing in the NFL. His dream came to a standstill when doctors discovered that he had a rare bone disease. But what was meant to break him became the turning point in his life. He joins us now to talk about that and his new album, Slater Unleashed. Welcome, Slater Joel.
Well, thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are here talking about you as a singer, performer. I mean, you've traveled extensively through Europe,
yes,
in Italy and that. But you had stage fright as a child.
Absolutely. Scared out of my pants.
How on earth do you go from being frightened of stage to being the one that's comfortable singing in front of thousands?
Well, it was a crazy situation happened to me in high school. I was actually stage fright up to my junior year in high school.
Wow.
Yes, sir. What ended up happening was my chorus teacher pushed me. She pushed me. She would not stop. I went to chorus because it was safe. It was something you could just kind of fall in the background and play your role.
Right.
But she found out I could sing, and she pushed me out there. And that started when I was a freshman. Now, this junior year, we ended up having to do an assembly in front of the entire school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scared to death, man, scared to death. What ended up happening was, in my head, it was either I bolt off the stage, but then I knew my teacher would beat me up. She had that kind of fear. Yeah, she had that kind of fear. So I said, man, I got to do this. So I closed my eyes and I just started singing. And I'll never forget the reaction that the crowd gave me. You saw so many different emotions happening. People were screaming. People were standing up.
Some were crying.
Yeah.
And was it even a gospel song?
No. It wasn't even a gospel song. It was Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And I just turned it into my own thing, a Motown song.
Wow.
And I did my own thing with it. And what was crazy, what was remarkable was everyone got something from it. And I've always sang in church. And that was the day I realized I really believe I'm here to uplift people.
Wow.
And so that when they walk out, they get what they need. Some people need to cry sometimes in worship. Some people need to get excited in worship. Some people need to be reminded of how good God and life really is.
So talking about mountains, you've had your fair share of those you've climbed, one of which is the medical condition I spoke about.
Yes, sir.
Now, am I correct in thinking that you were supposed to have surgery, but over time, as God ministered to you, you thought, actually, I'm going to keep walking and not bother with
Absolutely.
surgery?
I went through 4 surgeries, and each surgery was unsuccessful. It's a deficiency called Blount's disease. It attacks the growth plate of one of your bones, the tibia or the fibula in your leg. And what ended up happening was I would have a growth spurt, and it would keep changing. So it took 4 surgeries, unsuccessful ones, because of the growth spurts, the unpredictable growth spurts.
Wow.
And the one surgery was so bad, they broke it in 3 places. It was a 9-month recovery. And I just made up in my mind, if I can walk, I'm fine.
And are you at peace with where you're at? And if you are, how long did it take you to get there? Because I'm sure, I mean, normal people are like, God, what's going on? Why is this happening to me?
Yes, I'm so glad you used that word normal. Because how God ministered to me was I'm not normal.
Wow.
And so many of us will go through painful surgeries, painful alterations to their bodies just to look normal. And we were never called to look normal. We were called to stand apart. It took me a while to get that. The looks I would get from people, just people walking up on me, never even talking to me. You see their eye immediately go to my leg. And it's like, wow, it's an insecurity. But then when I realized I'm not made to be normal, I'm not going to pay another dime. I'm not going to pay another painful surgery just so I can look normal when I was never called to be that in the first place.
So you before we came on air, you spoke about your mother and the impact she had in your life. Actually, the key role she played in you being where you are now.
Absolutely.
In terms of your faith, your journey, your ministry with the church you're with. But there was a moment where she was taken from you, as it were, or went on to be with the Lord. What was that like?
That was the worst moment of my life. I'll never forget my mother. She battled with a few different situations. She beat cancer twice. And she was just a soldier. And so this last time, I just felt like she was tired. And so I didn't expect it to end the way it did, but she slipped into cardiac arrest and stayed on life support in a coma for 7 months. And I'll never forget, on the brightest sunny day, September 3rd, 2014, the most beautiful day of my life. I'm in the barbershop getting a haircut, minding my own business. My uncle walks in, and I knew something was wrong. She slipped away at 10 o'clock in the morning. And for the next 3 years after that, I would battle depression. There are times I would wake up at night just crying. Moments in the middle of my day, all could be fine. And the moment would hit me, she's not here anymore. Okay. And so, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's still a battle. I'm better. I'm better. But it's going to be a constant battle, especially living the rest of your life without her.
Now, your current project,
yes, sir.
How's it doing? Are you happy? Because, I mean, having traveled so much, sung in front of so many people, sometimes it can be hard to put something out and be satisfied with what you're getting back. I'm
very satisfied. This is my freshman album. One of the reasons why I'm satisfied, the name of it is Slater Unleashed. It's going to bring you up every story you and I just spoke about. These songs will tell you what I went through traveling, that road back to recovery, that road back to worship, that road back to freedom. And it's Slater Unleashed because I was bound by so many things, depression, just life didn't make sense. And these songs are songs that I wrote while I was in the valley.
I can't lie, sometimes it's easy to get a little weary. That's when I rewind.
For someone who's going through depression specifically, which song on the album would you recommend for them to go to first?
They can go to One More Time. There's a song called One More Time. If I can just hear your voice, then I know I'll be okay. Sometimes just hearing God say it's going to be all right is better than any pill you can take. Sometimes knowing that the Lord is there is better than anything that you can find to try to replace him. Sometimes I think a lot of us try to replace spiritual things with natural remedies. And this is a spiritual fight. Depression is a spiritual, it's a battle between flesh and spirit. And so you have to dig deep sometime just to make yourself get out of the bed. So God, one more time, strengthen me today one more time. If I could hear you today one more time.
Slater, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
While Slater is getting set up for his performance, I want to invite you to check out our Facebook page. Drop us a line or upload a picture on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, in Christ, the trials of life will never succeed in breaking you. They will only strengthen you. We leave you with the man himself, Slater, singing How Great You Are. From all of us at TPI, goodbye and God bless.
God, we give you glory today. I thank you because we can stand with no fear. I love you, Lord. The song says how great you are. And we're going to tell them today. Listen. Nor the snare, nor the terror that was set by the enemy, nor the weapons, they won't prosper. They may form but will never harm me. God lifted a standard, then came and rescued me. Now I'm grateful, I'm still standing with the testimony. I will shout it from the mountain, how great you are. Woo! I love you, Lord. Can y'all help me sing it? Come on, let's say it like this. Know the snare, nor the terror, that was set by the enemy, nor the weapons, they won't prosper. They may form, but will never. See, God lifted a standard, ooh, then came and rescued me. Say, now I'm still standing with a testimony, and I will shout it from the mountain. Ooh, how great you are, say. Come on and help me sing it. You're great. Ooh, you're awesome in all your ways. Sing. None can compare to your righteousness. So, say how great you are. I say. Yeah, 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 yeah. How great you are, Lord. We give you glory in this building, 'cause you're great, God. Can I hear you sing it? You're great, say. Ooh, no, no. Awesome in all your ways, sing. None can compare to your righteousness, oh God. Say you're great, say. Oh, yeah. Awesome in all your ways, and none can compare to your righteousness, oh God. How great you are, say. Oh God, we give you glory. There's nobody like you, God. We give you praise. Oh, thank you, Jesus. We love you, Lord. This is why we love you, God. Come on and sing it. You're awesome, and you're marvelous, Jesus. Your splendor is matchless, Lord. One more time. We give you glory. Come on and sing it. How